Surprised my whole hair is not like gray. Okay. Am I recording?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So we wanted to talk about stories. So I wrote down, and I'm gonna try to if I get the brightness in it. If you turn the brightness down, you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My sandwich, baby, be quiet.
Let me
mute myself.
Up Instagram. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different features in stories. So I'm just gonna kind of go over some.
Am I muted, guys?
No. You want me to mute you?
Yeah, because my kid's going crazy.
Okay. So I'm just kind of going to go over different features that the stories have, kind of show you guys how to do that. And then because there's a couple different features that I didn't know about that I learned today. And just how to get more engagement on your stories, with the polls, putting locations, doing different hashtags, different stuff like that. Because I'm pretty good at the stories, but I wanted to make sure that I got all the features. So the first thing that comes up is the text on stories. There's different fonts, different colors, but I don't know if you guys know about shadow boxing. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And basically, hold on, let me pick we'll do this picture. But if you put something like morning, you do it in one color, and then you type it again and do it in a different color, it gives it a shadow box. Let me see if you guys can see that. Do you see how it's white and blue? So it gives it a shadowy effect. And you can do that with all kinds of all the different fonts. That was modern, but you can also do it with the neon one, the one that does cursive. So you can that that looks awful.
Nobody. Hello. Say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, you can do it with the cursive one too. Do that. You just type it out, push done with one color, and then you type it out again, pick another color, and you just kind of size it to go over it, and then you can see both colors, but it makes it pop, which is really cool. So you can do it with all the different fonts. And something that's really cool is you want to keep it creative, so you don't always want to use the same fonts every time, but you also you can do different fonts for one picture. You can do the modern font, at the top, and then you can do the little typewriter, at the bottom, if you're doing nutrients, probiotics, all this stuff. So you can kind of play with it just to make it pop and do different things. You can also, this is something new that I just learned today, I was telling Christine about it, is you can share a post to your story. So if you're scrolling through and you see somebody, especially because I follow Rachel Hollis, I follow a bunch of different authors and stuff. If they do a post that you really like, you can click on the right side, that little arrow, and it'll pull it up, and you can click share to your story. So then their post will share to your story, and their followers are also going to see it because it'll tag her in there. So more people are going to see that post. If you do somebody that's not super big, if you do a friend or something, I usually always ask them hey, I really loved your post. Do you mind if I share it in my story? Some people are weird about sharing their stuff without asking. So I would just, keep that in the back of your mind. But if it's somebody huge who they're not going to read your message, but you can share their stuff because they're used to their stuff being shared all the time. And it brings their followers to you, and then that'll boost up your following as well. And also, it has because I know some of you aren't as prevalent on Instagram, but you can do the Instagram story and share it to your Facebook at the same time, so you don't have to do both. And then one of the new features is the ask a question. So in the, because I know some of you guys were asking, like when you post a picture, that's an awful picture. But like if you hit that sticker button at the top, I know you can't really see it on this one, but like if you hit the sticker, it pulls up all these things. And this is the questions one. So it'll pop up. You guys can't really see it very well, but it says like ask me a question, and you just hit done, and you can put it on your picture, and then when people are scrolling through, they can click on that and ask you a question. And then like it'll pop up in your notifications that you have questions, and you can pull them up, click them, and then answer them in another story post. So it'll show their question, and then you can kind of use whatever fonts or whatever you want to answer that question. So a lot of times I'll do that, like I'm opening questions for like how I run my business. What questions do you have for me? Or like I'm opening up questions on favorite recipes. Y'all ask me questions about how I do recipes or how I meal plan or whatever. You literally can use it. And it's more of like just boosting your algorithm and getting people to interact with you, which boosts your following, which boosts, more and more people seeing your stories. I haven't used this one that much, but because it's still very new. It just came out like a month ago, I think. And then I've gotten lots of questions on the gifts. So it's basically the same thing. You pick a picture. Here's my puppies. And then you click on the sticker at the top, and there's a little one right here. It's kind of see-through, so it's hard to see on the computer. But it says GIF, G-I-F. So you just click on it, and a whole bunch of little cartoons pop up. And these are just like the featured ones, but you can also go in the search bar and you can search, I don't know, hearts. And then like it'll pull up a bunch of different like heart gifts, ones that move, they blink, they turn around in circles, they're flashy. And so like you can pick literally, and you can search anything. There's like Drake faces that are like popping, you can do Beyonce. You can like literally search anything on here. BFFs, talking on the phone. And the new posts, like when you see people that do new posts and they have that like really fancy thing, like you can click in their new post and it'll come up with different ones that you can put on there, or like the swipe up effect. You just literally search whatever you want and it'll have something on there. Sunshine, good morning, like anything. So I like to use those a lot. I get a lot of questions about that. Those are super, super simple. Some of this is really generic. I'm sure most of y'all know how to do like a lot of these, but like changing, what the hell is my phone doing? Changing like the size of the fonts. I don't know if you know how to, like, not that one. No. Classic. So like if you type something on the side over here, you can make it bigger or smaller. And then you can also like zoom in and out with it. Like this is really hard, y'all. But like you can just pinch your fingers together and make it bigger and smaller. And then they did and then like changing the colors. There's a way to make your words also the rainbow effect. I haven't really figured that out yet. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So when I figure that one out, I'll share it with you guys. And then spacing, they were talking about, it's a cool effect when you're typing to give it like, I don't know, let me just do it. So like you just put a letter in, you space, put another letter in, space, put another letter in, space, put another letter in, space. And that is not, okay. And then just do the spaces, and it gives it a cool, I don't know, it just looks better, I guess. And I completely spelled my name wrong, but y'all get the point. But I put a space in between each letter, and so it kind of just, it looks better, I think. Adding color to the background. So I don't know if you guys know how to do this. I just learned this today too. So like, you see this picture, okay? If you go into the, what was that? The little marker thing. So you can click on the highlighter, which is the second one, and you pick a color, which I like to do white, and you hold it. It gives it like a you guys can't see it very well, but it gives it like a transparency look, so you can still see the picture. Let me see if I can turn my brightness down a little
By
bit.
the way, Fee, I know how to do the different letters of different colors.
Oh, do you? Okay, well then you can do that. But like it gives you a transparency look, so you can still see the picture, but it gives it like a cool effect. Or if you want to do like just a full color background where like you don't have a picture, you click on the color and you just hold on it for a few seconds, and then it'll do that background color that you want. Oh, and then like doing like text stories through your stories. So like, I don't know if you guys have seen where like somebody will like post a picture and they'll be like, how I run my business. They send it and they do another one and they add to it and they send it and then they add to it and they send it. Have you guys seen that? Like those are really cool, and I get a lot of feedback on those because I can sit there and I can do like my whole network marketing story. Or what's become like super famous right now is like talking. So like doing like a Snapchat kind of deal almost, but like there's several posts. Like I'll sit here and I'll like talk to you, like talking to them like face to face and being like, hey, like I was a mom of 4 boys and like this is how I run my business and this is what I do. And then like it ends because it only lasts a few seconds. Then you do another one and you just continue that story and continue the story and continue the story. Because people like to hear like what you're saying, how you're talking, you know, like they want to get that vibe from you. And so I've gotten a lot of feedback on those as well. And then they were talking about screen recording. Like you can screen record like different like steps. Like if you're in social media and like your brand is like teaching or coaching or something, you can screen record like this is how I upload a story to my page, you know, and you can put that in, and I'm sure you can do like different things with it. I haven't really figured that one out yet. There are also the selfie stickers. I don't know if you guys know about this, but which one is it? Okay, so when you scroll down, there is a little camera button and you push on it and like you can take a picture, and it legit is like a little selfie sticker. So like you can move it anywhere you want. So you could do like a mad face and then put it on there, or like a sad face. And then like you can do a poll and ask a question. Like, do you like ice cream? Mad face, sad face. You know what I mean? And then like ask a question. It's just a different way to like be creative with it and be super silly. Then the rainbow text, I have no idea. Christine's going to do that. And then I'm pretty sure we all know about the boomerang, because boomerang has been around for a while. And that's just like where if something's moving, why is my camera frozen? That's just like if something's moving, like I'll do my boomerangs with a shake. I'll like shake my package and video record it. And then like the different things that like help with engagement, like the hashtag button that's in there. You can do different hashtags, mama boys, mom life, you know, flamingo living, like what, like we do, you can do pretty much any hashtag. The location is a really good one, because if somebody searches like Louisville, Kentucky, because that's where I'm at, and I did a post where I put my location in it, my posts are going to pull up and be like at the top because I used that location piece. What are the other ones? I forget. Using, or like to mention, like Christine will mention me in her stories a lot. I do the same thing. They also have the music button where you can like click on music and it will, you can pick from like an array of songs and have music playing on one of your posts, your stories, which is really cool. And then of course the polls are really good to use because it gets more interaction. It gets people like to be interactive with you. You can put the degrees on there. You can put the day of the week. And then it has different, like savage, basic, want. It has different little stickers that you can put on. So it's really just about being like creative. And because you don't want to do like, if you do different pictures for your stories, but then like you use the same font in every story, it's going to come off like real blah. So you always want to make it different. Like you do one post using, the typewriter font, and then you do another post with like a selfie sticker and a couple GIFs. Like you always want to keep it different, face to face, and then like what you're doing, a picture of your kids or your dogs or like whatever. Like you just want to keep it very creative, doing different things, because if you're doing the same thing every single day, like I don't post my 3 steps in my stories every single day. I do try to do it like every other day, or you know what I mean? Like, and sometimes I'll do my shake in the morning, and then the next day I'll be doing my capsules, or the next day I'll like do my DFTs, because you don't want to become like boring. Like, oh, I know what she's going to post this morning. She posts the same damn thing every single morning. So you just want to keep it creative and have fun with it. So Christine, tell me how you do the rainbows.
Okay. So can y'all see that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So then you'll just click on your text. You'll hold it down. Select all. Well, however you highlight on your phone, because I don't know how it is for Androids. So then you'll pick your first color. So since I'm OCD, we'll go in the order of the rainbow. So then you'll just move your cursor over a letter and then pick your next one. Over a letter. Really? Come on. Pick your next color. Really?
Well, that's cool.
And then so on and so forth.
Well, I love that. I'm going to have to try that. I'm super
So
rainbowy. I love rainbow. I'm such a bright and colorful person, except when my kids drive me crazy.
It literally took me like an entire 2 hours to figure it out. And it's so simple.
I can't figure out
haven't
music on mine.
implemented it yet.
So the music,
What?
the music one, so like where the little sticker is at the top,
Yeah.
and it pulls like everything. So in the very middle, like right here, it says music.
Hang on your phone. Oh, there we are.
So you just click on music.
See, mine doesn't do that on Instagram.
It doesn't? What kind of phone do you have?
A Google Pixel.
So that's Android. So it might not be available to Android just yet. I think I read something where like the music feature is like slow. Like it hasn't.
Now there are times.
Yeah, the
with
iOS and the APKs.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Do what?
Android will get a feature before iPhone does, and sometimes iPhone will get a feature before Android does. It all just.
Vice versa.
Yeah, I still don't have the 9 features on Facebook. Just saying, I'm a little salty about it.
That's a feature
Really?
because I've had it.
Yes, she has it. Like I have updated Facebook. I've updated my phone. Like I still don't have the fucking 9 feature photos on my profile, and I'm pissed. I'm salty about it. Like,
But yours looks like you have like 20 photos.
I get creative with it. I make it work. But I still I want those 9 feature photos. I'm so mad about that. Because with those featured photos, I don't know if you guys know, but like you can do the videos, you can do GIFs on there, like you can do all kinds of stuff with it.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, you can upload videos on there. It's not just pictures, and you can upload GIFs. Like there's all kinds of, you can do like music videos. Like it's like I want my 9 feature photos because I'm gonna like mine's gonna be the best ever. Y'all know.
All right,
I need to update mine. Put some more.
Did you cover everything you wanted to cover, Fee?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, I mean, I know it's just us three, but like, cause I had a whole page of notes, but.
Well, I did some research on how to like create more engagement on your stories, because the stories it's not heavily weighted, but stories do have a slight algorithm. So like there's times where, and I was talking to Thea about this earlier, there's times where Felicia will be at the beginning when I open my app, and then my app goes through its whole like reloading, like refreshing stage, and then someone else will be at the beginning. So then I'll watch their story and realize the last time they posted was like 9 hours ago or whatever the case is. And then I'll go to Felicia's story, and even though she just posted 30 seconds prior, she wasn't the first on my list. So I didn't actually see like what all goes into that. I wasn't able to actually find like a story algorithm. All I could find is that they said that it's not as heavily weighted as your newsfeed algorithm is. But there are ways to push yourself to that first circle. And the first one was Instagram allows you to use 30, I think max 30 hashtags, but they only want you using absolute max 5, because they did some research showing that your visibility actually drops off a little bit after 5 hashtags.
So is that in the story? Because like if you use the hashtag button, you can only do one hashtag.
Well,
you can type like pound da 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 and do it that way.
Yeah, so that goes for both stories and posts.
Okay.
Because when they were talking about
I
the
always
stories,
put mine in the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what I do too, but they don't want you doing any more than 5. And I don't know if that goes per comment for the actual like newsfeed itself. But the theory behind like the whole reason they only want you doing 5 in the stories is because that's how a lot of people get put into like other stories, like, you know, when you do your location and you can get put on that location's actual story. So if I do Indy, I could be put on the Indy story. So if someone's sitting there doing, you know, 30 hashtags, then they're kind of abusing the fact that they can get put on 30 different stories, if that makes sense. So then like after 5, your engagement tends to drop. And then I wanted to touch a little bit on the location, because that goes into your posts and your stories as well. Your posts can get put onto the explore page, whereas your story can get put onto like your locations story. And obviously, you know, if you're getting put on those bigger stories, you get more reach, visibility, and engagement. I've been getting a little bit better at putting my location on every single story. Sometimes I do tend to sometimes I do tend to like pinch it to where it's really, really small, and you can't tell that I tagged my location, but it still pops up in the location like tag.
Now, did you like find out anything? Because like I've tried different things, like my location and my stories, and like I have noticed like more views. You know what I'm saying? Like I still feel like whether I post my location or not, I'm still getting the same amount of views. So I'm a little confused as to like how to raise up the views.
So when I was reading through it, it basically said consistency. You know, if you're consistently putting that on there, they're going to consistently see your name. Almost like when we're looking through our likes and we're looking through our comments and we see that one person that's there all the time, you know, we're more apt to message them.
Right.
And just be like, hey, and start creating that relationship.
So like consistently using that location.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you consistently use that location, then they're, I don't know if it's like a robot or what, but it's going to be like, oh, this person has used their location 6 times today, you know, or they do it consistently every day, and then that'll kind of
Okay.
bump you up. There
That makes
wasn't
sense.
like a clear line, do this to
Yeah,
get put on
I've
the story.
researched it a lot because I'm like, how do you get more views? Because like, I've tried, like, I interact on different people's stories, and like I tried the location, and I feel like my views on my stories is still, it's like right at 50. Like,
Yeah.
and it's consistently right at there. So I'm like, how do I get more people to see my stuff?
Yeah.
Because I'm public, I'm doing the location, like,
Yeah.
but they
So there
don't
wasn't
have like
a
a clear
black
I
and
got
white-
more.
Do what?
Did you say something, Steph?
Oh, I froze. I froze. I got a lot more views on my story when I put, like whenever I put a post for Jaylee or whatever, and then I put the hashtag like kidney disease awareness or something like that. I got double. I put 2 on there, one for kids, and then just just generic kidney disease awareness, and I got like 75 views on that story.
Wow. So I
Yeah.
wonder if like you use like something
the
big
hashtag.
but generic like that probably boosts it up. I'll have to use my epilepsy thing then.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that also
Yes.
goes back into how the hashtags are kind of the same within the stories and your newsfeed. Obviously the more popular kind of hashtag that you use, the more it's going to get viewed. Same as if you use more popular hashtags on your actual post itself, it gets bumped into that explore page a little bit easier.
Right.
So yeah, there wasn't really a black and white line of, like this will definitely work and that will definitely not work. But it was what I kept seeing was consistency. So just if we keep putting our locations in there, that very well could raise our engagement.
Okay.
And then they did this whole like article of like ideas that work that people have like done extensive research and trial and error, and they went through and made this article. So I wrote a few of what would work for us down. Create tutorials. So like, we're always saying be yourself, so whether that be you like makeup, you like cooking, you like crafting, you like doing hair, make some sort of tutorial in your story. And it could literally just be picture by picture or boomerang by boomerang, showing each step of like whatever you're doing. And then behind the scenes, so like you want your page to be your highlights, and I feel like that's kind of just how it is in general. Your social media is your highlight reel. But then you want your story to be your like behind the scenes kind of thing. So you make a post about you and your family getting ready to go on a family adventure. Then in your story, you're going to show what that family adventure is, almost kind of like vlog style, whether it be, you talking to them or taking pictures or whatever. So you're going to show that process in your story. And then like, obviously once the family adventure is over, you can make another post saying, like we had so much fun, go check my story for the details, or, like however you want to word it. And it makes your audience feel special. It makes them feel like there's only, because normally if you're public, people will go to your page and look through it and not really think twice about your story. But if they're following you, obviously your story pops up at the top. So it makes them feel a little more special, pretty much. Breaking news, which is kind of the same as behind the scenes, but like, so you're gonna want to post your announcements in your story, whether that be a personal announcement or a company announcement, and then post on your actual news feed like they should already know. And if people start asking you, like, when did this happen, or like, what are the details, then you would comment and let them know, hey, check my story for the details. And that will get your story to get up there a little bit more in the story algorithm, if you want to call it that. And like I said, that could be business, personal, like whatever. Really utilize your story as, it's behind the scenes of your life. So then they said something they call it listicles, which I thought was fucking hilarious because I'm 5 and it sounds like testicles. But they had a psychologist do some research about what people are more drawn to. And when you create a list in your story, like Felicia was talking about, you know, just doing one thing, one color, one text, and then another, like, those lists tap into our preferred way of learning or soaking in information and organizing information. So, like, when you go to a recipe, I'm guilty of this, and it has that description of, like, how good the meal is and all this, that, and the other. I don't read none of that shit. I just scroll straight down to the list of ingredients and the list of steps, because our brains as humans love seeing lists. When we see a list, it's very to the point, and we can almost, you know, receive that information a little bit quicker and in such short, because lists are normally like, what, 2 or 3 words per line or whatever, and that's easier for us to absorb. So they call it listicles. So use listicles in your story. And it hits that kind of like sweet spot for people. And then a little bit about what Felicia was saying was in this article as well. Q&As. Now, Q&As are huge to make your audience feel special, to make them feel recognized, to make them feel like you want to cater to them. Because, I mean, yes, we are running a business. Yes, we do have, like, this list of rules, and I say that word lightly, this list of rules of, like, you know, how we should post and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're doing all of that so that you can be more appealing to your audience. And nothing is more appealing to your audience than you caring about them. So just, it creates that deeper connection. And now, like Felicia was saying, they actually have that question sticker where they can ask questions and it gets sent to you. So that makes that a little bit easier in general. But they were saying try to do a Q&A pretty regularly. So, like, plan ahead for it. So, you know, let people know, hey, I'm going to open up for a Q&A tomorrow at 5 p.m. or whatever, you know. Like, make sure that it fits with your schedule, but give them the heads up that, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing. This is when I have time to do it. So if you have questions for me, get them ready. And give shout outs. That was another huge one. Like Felicia was saying, I'll mention her in my stories. She'll mention me in her stories. But you also want to do that with people that aren't in the business. So, and obviously, like, make sure it's okay with them, because I know a few people, if I were to mention them in my stories, they would be like, I have my children's pictures on my page, and now you have all these creeps coming to request me. So, you know, obviously make sure that it's okay, but, like, that's another thing that makes your audience feel special. So if at this point, you know, my audience is used to seeing Felicia, they know that we're in the business together. So if I were to mention, I don't know, my best friend Lexi, I'd hardly post about her, but I could give her a shout out for being a badass mom, or whatever the case is, you know, sticking by me for the last 10 years of my bullshit, you know, like, whatever the case is,
Not only out. Yeah, but you can also, like, don't be scared to mention, like, I know a lot of people were reading, like, the Girl Wash Your Facebook, and they were mentioning her in their stories, or they mentioned her in, like, the post and tagged her in the post, and they got, like, such a huge flux of followers because her followers saw that and decided to check their page out, so they now started following them. So that's something you can, like, incorporate too. Like, if there's somebody that, you know, is an inspiration to you, or you really like their books, or, you know, it can be anybody, a band, like, whatever, mention them, you know, and that will grow your followers.
A lot of times, and this was like a little experiment that they did, a lot of times when you do that, when you mention someone big and then you get that influx of followers, shout a few of them out, you know, like, say you get 40 people that all of a sudden follow you, and you can really connect to like 3 or 4. Look at
I know, she's so cute. I just love her.
But let's say you have like
She
40
still has
people
the
follow
swollen
you.
face.
Do what, sweetie?
She still has the swollen face.
Aw, she's so cute though.
Yeah. She pulls the cheeks off for sure.
She does.
She's so pretty.
But let's just say that you have like 40 people following you. Obviously, you're not going to be able to connect with all 40 of those people. That would be in a perfect world, but you know, we live in this world, so there's that. But, you know, there's usually at least, you know, 2 or 3 people that you can connect with. And chances are, if they're following you from that influencer's page, they won't mind you shouting them out.
Yeah, I was going to say that's actually a really good idea to like post in your story every time. Because I mean, not every day do I get like 20 followers, but I'll get like 2 or 3. Grab those names and be like, hey, thanks for the follow. Mention your story. Then their followers are going to see that and that'll bring more people to you. That's actually a really good idea.
Yep. And the last thing that they left off with were 7 just like basic tips. And I felt like every single one of the tips could be used for us. So overall, tell a story, be authentic, provide value, get creative, plan ahead, promote your story, and create CTAs, which is call to action. And everything that I look, because they had charts, it's hard to explain, but they had charts underneath every single one of these like experiments that they did. And like literally the bullet point would be down here at the beginning of the experiment, and then it would like shoot all the way up to here. Now, you know, the internet's the internet, so who knows if it was really like that, but I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, well, and I think it depends on your followers too, and like what content you're putting out there. So like if you have a lot of moms on your page and you're putting content about college students and being in debt, they're not going to relate to that, and they're probably not going to interact with you as much. So you do have to be like aware of like who you're following is, what content you're putting out there, because you want to give like what the people want. Because like for me, when I started diving into this like coaching thing, I wasn't really sure of like what kind of coach I wanted to do. But the one thing that people reach out to me the most about is mindset and staying positive. So I was like, okay, that's what my people are looking for. So I need to focus more on mindset and positivity and affirmations and stuff like that, because that's the people who follow me, who look up to me for. So you need to be very aware of like what your network is and what they, you know, get from you.
And for that, I would say, you know, obviously you're going to follow people that have different interests and whatnot like that, but be sure to interact with the people that you can connect with. Like I have this girl and she's in college. She's literally like living the American dream. Like she's in all kinds of student loan debt and like, I can relate to her in the sense that she likes makeup, but that's about it. So I don't really interact with her that much. I'll interact on her posts where she'll post about her makeup, but like other than that, she's just kind of there. So focus most of your time on the people that you can wholeheartedly connect with, because that's when you'll kind of fall into just posting everything about you, if that makes sense, because you have all of those people that you're focusing on and you have everything in common with them. Like Felicia was saying, she talked to a girl yesterday and it was scary how much they had in common. You know how many people out there that you have a scary amount of things in common with? And if you find those people, those are the people that you want to gear your posts towards. Like obviously I'm not going to talk about being a boy mom. I mean, me and Felicia have our similarities, but like, there's not
like really our lives are like completely different. And the fact that we're even friends is shocking.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are things that we can relate to, and you just have to find those. That's why it's so important to like have conversations and stuff, because you're never going to know if you don't have that conversation. That's why building relationships, I talked to, I think 3 different women today. and they were all in different MLMs, but like one I had stuff to relate to her on like coaching and like being a positive role model. She had no kids. She wasn't married. Like it was very much like we didn't have a lot in common, but the more we talked to each other, we had a lot of likes in common. Like she liked to crochet and she, you know, organized. So like that's why it's so good to like have those conversations and build those friendships, because you learn more about people and then you're like, oh, we do have some stuff in common, and you can build off that. But
And
you
then
have to open that door. You have to have those conversations or you'll never know.
Right. And linking that to the stories, I know there's plenty of times where like I'll tell Amanda or I'll tell my mom, hey, like I know you don't know Felicia, but like go to her Instagram and check her story out. Like it's fucking hilarious. So, I mean, and I don't think I'm the only one that does that. You know what I mean? So like other people are out there putting your name out there, whether you know it or not. And if you can relate to them, more than likely you're relating to their friends as well, and they're going to recommend their friends come to you. So it's all about learning, you know, how to tweak your story and be consistent with it. You know, your stories are pretty much here to stay at this point for the foreseeable future anyway. And the more people start using the stories, the more you're going to have to stand out. The more you're going to have to be authentically yourself and be creative. So now it's not just, you know, posting to your story to post to your stories anymore. That's dead and gone. You know, you don't necessarily have to have a theme like you do with your page, but like you do have to put some thought into what your story is. Now, I'm not innocent of just throwing a post up to throw a post up, especially the last couple days because I've been sick as hell. But that's me just trying to stay consistent and throw, because the stories aren't, I mean, they're gone in 24 hours. So it's not as serious as your news feed, but you do want to stay consistent with it.
Yep. Good stuff. I learned some stuff tonight myself. That was good.
Yeah.
A rainbow.
The rainbow. Yes, I'm super excited. My next story will be a rainbow. I'm telling you.
Mine too.
Stop. Go away.
I will work on that.
Did you guys know that you can use the eyedropper?
Yeah.
To pick a color in your picture? Okay.
Yeah.
That way it kind of is a little more cohesive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wins.
Love it. See, I still learn stuff too.
Every day.
Every day. Even when my life is going to shit.
I'm over here dying of just pure congestion and mucus. So, like, there's that.
Yeah. I'll trade you.
Yeah, mine's been crappy too.
All right. Well, I'm going to hop off here so I can get this recording uploaded. Christine, I'm probably going to call you in like 2.5 seconds.
Okay.
While I wait for it to upload. And thank you, Stephanie, for hopping on. And I hope this helps everybody when they watch the replay.
Yes.
So good night.
Bye. Good night. Bye.